What's going on, people? How are we doing? Welcome back to another Shogun stream, and today we're playing some Dauntless. And for those of you unfamiliar with Dauntless, it's very similar to Monster Hunter. Go out, fight monsters, get rewards, rinse and repeat. But I'm kind of feeling myself today. I feel like I'm kind of the man right now. This is going to backfire so badly. But what we're going to do today is a special challenge. And that challenge is as follows. We are going to try and get... We've got two streaks that I'm going to try and get. The main streak is the win streak. As you can see, right underneath me there, I've got counters there. Okay, we're going to keep track of my performance today and try and get a 20 win streak. That's the first challenge. I also want to try and make sure that I'm performing on point, not just hiding away. And I'm going to go for an A grade or higher streak as well, and try and get that to 20 as well. If I can get to 10 on that, I'll be happy. 20 will be phenomenal. I am a level 10 Slayer, as you can see right there in the top left hand corner. So I've played this a fair bit. I played the beta, I've jumped back on now that the game's live, and we are going to get straight into this. But what we do have is a spin wheel, so I'm going to load that up. Right, so here we have a spin wheel, and what we're going to do with this, of course, is spin it and see what we have to do for our first mission. So we'll give that a go. So the spin wheel gave us a neutral patrol mission to do. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to obey the spin wheel at all times. And this is going to make it potentially a little bit more difficult for me. The spin wheel seems to be bugging things out at the moment, so I might have to do that a different way in a moment. So turn this down as well. Right, let's get back into this. I'm running a little bit choppy at the moment, which I don't like. Should be alright once it settles down. But what I'm going to do, I might turn my video settings down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So we've got a patrol mission. And we'll go neutral. And I'll start off private. Why not? Do it on my own. I'm wavy like that. My setup's pretty good as well, so I shouldn't have any problems on a neutral. Very, very choppy frame rate right now. I am aware of it. As well, to be honest. Go with that. There we go. Back into the game. Just waiting for the sun to kick in. And then we can get straight in.
It's got to be the luckiest city in the Shattered Isles. A sky full of storms and monsters. We still live in relative peace. For now.
So this will be our first one. There we go. Match has been found. Let's not waste any time on this. Get straight in there. So the neutral ones, not particularly worrying. So a good way to start this off. And I'm going to be doing this stream in 2 parts. So I'm going to do some of it in what is now the afternoon, and then I'll be doing some more again in the evening as well. So yeah, it's going to be plenty to keep up with. Oh, brilliant. Dauntless has crashed. Let's restart that then. That didn't go well, did it? Right, let's go back into this. Right, so Dauntless has crashed. It will restart momentarily. These things happen. It's one of them ones. But we'll get back into this. We're not gonna give up on this so quickly. I'll go back right there. Right. But yeah, so bear with me, and we'll be right back with the action. Okay, we're back up. We're back up and running. I've closed down a load of programs just to make sure this thing can run. It's not the most graphically intensive game, but I did have a load of things open. I was editing videos and stuff earlier. And yeah, that process involves a lot of memory hogging. So it's one of those ones. Okay, let's do this. So we know what the wheel gave us. There we go. This is a lot smoother as well. That's better. See what Gregario's got for me.
Sharp.
Obviously, I've got the hunt pass. Got the platinum there, and a silver slayer core as well, which we should probably open.
Find adventure, Slayer.
Let's go and open this up and then get into a hunt. Go see what's in here. You get rare items in these. So that's a good one. +2 Ether Hunter and okay, endurance. So I've got those. I can combine those though, so that'll come good at a later point. So
Looks like that airship ran into some trouble.
let's go. We got given a neutral patrol. Let's get into this.
I know the route would be blocked off. I'm a bosun, not a wayfinder.
We'll just wait for the server and then we'll get in and deal with whatever. Now the neutrals aren't really that hard at all, if we're being honest. Here we go. We've got our server. Let's go straight away. Let's not waste any time. Okay. So we've got a cool shot, which is the hardest one. But we're overpowered for it, so we should be okay. Need to break its break its quills. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you always get a little hint at the bottom. Gives you a little way of trying to build your advantage against these monsters, because they are definitely stronger than you are. So yeah, that's always a thing. Alright, let's do this. Let's go. I'm rocking the flame armor right now.
Your lantern isn't just a handy radio and light source. It can be modified to help with all kinds of things.
I'm not going to do too much in terms of farming for resources. If it's on the way, then I'll get it. But other than that, I'm just going to get straight to the point. Let's go straight ahead. Okay, cool. These up because they're here, and then I imagine my adversary will be pretty close. I mean, to be fair, the route has been pretty kind to me. I can hear it. Oh, I'll get these. These are important. They're very important for crafting potions. Follow that. And there we go. We have our enemy right here. Let's get these out. careful. I've already broken some, which is good. But I've got to be careful because it can spit those out of its back. Ah, try to dodge through that. Yeah. So, pretty strong, as you can see. There we go. I've got to be careful because it's good from range and up close. And it will attack from both. Get out of here. I need to escape because I'm in trouble. Last thing I want is to go down so early on in the fight. There we go. There we go. Quick dodge. Calm. The main thing is to watch for it when it starts trembling. There we go. If I can just break all its spikes off. Yes. Easy, easy, easy. Uh-oh, it's gonna get out of here. Okay, it's getting enraged. Oh no, it's not, it's just on fire. Ah! See, now it can't do as much damage to me because I've broken so many of its spikes. Oh, I tried to go through that again. Had that been earlier on, that would have killed me. Oh my god, okay, he's about to. Let's get these going. Ah! He wasn't trying to let me heal up too much there. I think we got this though. Very aggressive, as you expect. He's going to run out very soon, but he's just become enraged, which replenishes his spikes as well. There you go, just stay away with that. You're not catching me in a month of Sundays, mate. Ah! Nice. That's my new ability, by the way. So I've got to destroy all of these again now. I'm cutting this very fine here. Quick heal. One more. There we go. Okay, so he's escaping now. That's cool. Okay, I think we've got this now. Alright, let's find out. Right, is there anything here for me to harvest? I don't think there is. Okay, let's find out where he's going. That way. Cool. I can hear him already. Just around the other side of this. Ah, didn't do that too well, did I? Here we go. Oh. Okay, I need to be careful here. Go, go. Okay, he's doing bits, he's doing bits. I might struggle here. I might struggle here. Go good. Oh, he missed. Thank God for that. I was in trouble. Okay, we'll drink that up. So again. Oh. Okay, we're limiting his damage again, which is good. Nice. See, he's got less that he can use now. Ah. Get behind here, heal up. Oh. Good dodge. Let that burn damage do what it needs to do. Okay, now he's in rage though, which we could have done with that. I gotta be careful. Oh shit. Okay, I'm down. Gotta use that real quick. Okay, that's probably gonna not let me get an S rank. Might not even get an A rank at this point. Ah. Nice. Nice. Okay, we still got this. Ah. I didn't even expect that move there. Okay. Oh shit, okay, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Let's get out of here, get to this real quick. Come on, I don't need that bugging out right now. Ooh. That was the last thing I needed. you. Ah. Okay, I've got nothing left in there. Ah. His physicals are getting really quick, which is bloody annoying. I'm still good at it. Okay. Keep our distance, keep our distance. Ah, okay. Still got a res. There we go. Oh, nah, he's hype again. Okay. This isn't going to be fun, but we can do it. Oh, almost got me. Okay, good dodge, good dodge. Ah! Okay, back to normal. Ah, shit. Okay, I'm in trouble here. Oh, thank God for that. We got it done. Made it really hard work of that. Definitely not getting, yeah. As I said, definitely not getting an A class for that. Got a C, but we'll take it. Let's just update that record there. Let's go. We've got a 1-win streak. All good. Right, let's go. Plenty of loot, to be fair. Happy with that. Right, let's get out of here. Right then, so I think now would be a good time to get the spin wheel going. Right, so here we go. Spin wheel. What are you going to do with us today? Because I'm expecting a bad time here, I'll be honest. Last time we got a neutral patrol. We ended up getting the toughest one possible out of there, but we were okay. We survived. That's the main thing. So let's spin this wheel, see what we get here. And we got a mission. Okay. Okay. So I guess that's a good time to go and find out any mission ones that we have to do. I think we do have a pursuit mission. We've got a strike. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. We'll probably do this with a squad this time. Mix it up a little bit. I don't have to change my weapons either, so that's okay. Oh, that was a bit laggy there. Okay, so my loadout's pretty calm. My loadout is pretty decent here. We'll fade that out. So I've got the Inferno Fangs, which are incredibly strong chain blades with a bonus for the 10th hit in quick succession, which, I mean, I tend to overuse the combo anyway, so I get to bang those out quite easily. I'm using Cruel Rift Strike as my special move. So I can teleport forward, and then if there's a behemoth in the path of me teleporting, I can do a special on them, and that's pretty cool. I used that for the first time in the last one. That was pretty decent. Lightweight chain just keeps my stamina up. I've got I've got a Rage Hunter and an Ether Hunter on there as well, which is pretty decent. It's definitely important when you're soloing, which I do quite a lot. So let's get into this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm massively overpowered for this, which is absolutely fine. That being said, you made the last one quite difficult, but this one is technically going to be stronger because there are 4 people in the lobby. So the more people in the lobby, the more powerful the behemoth is. But at the same time, I'm not going to be taking all the aggro, as it will obviously loop through the team. So that's okay. I should hopefully be getting an A grade out of this. An S. I want an S grade, realistically. Just waiting for one more person. There we go. Okay, here's the squad. Let's do this. Okay, get some of these. I have to do too much collection. That someone found it already? No, that was just thunder. not wasting any more time. It's straightforward. Okay. It's going to be straight over this ridge here. There we go. Let everyone know where we are. Okay. Oh, okay. Couldn't get out of the way because I was getting body blocked by my own teammates there. So it was fun. The strike seems particularly menacing, but we'll be okay. Ah. Oh, come on, I was out of the way of that, surely. Evidently not. Take that tail off. Ah. There we go. Ow. Okay. We're doing okay right now. One of our teammates needs to heal himself up pretty quickly. Okay, so he's on a hype now, which is good for me because I can do more damage to him. Do a lot of sweeping attacks right now. There you go. This is pretty much worse. Any problems with this at the moment. If I can break that tail to that, that's brilliant. Ah, it's escaping while I'm in the middle of it. Okay, we got him. Oh no, I can't get out of this. I can, that's cool. There we go, got him on fire. Yes, there we go, great part. Have some of that. To be fair, this team is doing pretty decent. Oh no, I'm watching for that. Get away, get away. He clapped me. I'm not even worried about it remotely. Ah, okay, he was aggroing me then. Oh, great part. That's his razor gun as well. think he's gonna... Okay, he's escaping over there. Cool. I'm just gonna heal up on this. And then head to the west, I believe. Easy. And our damage percentage is absolutely tiny. We've absolutely wrecked this guy. That was probably not the right move to make, but I'll do it anyway. Let's go. He's not having a good time, this guy. Hold on, Jazz. 1 second. Ouch, Jazz. Show me if you want. I'll definitely take the aggro. I know he's on my case. Yes, there we go. That was easily done. I've got to get an S rank for that, surely. S plus, we'll take that. Come on. Easy, easy, easy work. Come on. Yeah. As we've got a 1 on the A streak as well now. Brilliant. Right, 2 seconds because my daughter needs to know something, so I'm gonna look after her. I will be right back in a moment. Okay. Job done. That was one of the easier ones. So, now I believe it's time to get the spin wheel back involved. What's it gonna give me? Did a mission last time. Blaze. Okay. I also want to get rid of the sound of this. I can't remember how to do it. I think I'll get rid of that there. That should do it. Right. Let's get this off. Okay. So we've got a blaze one to do now, which is going to be tough enough anyway. I think I'll squad up on this one because soloing it's going to be a pretty bad idea, I think. I've just completed a mission, so I'll turn that in.
Heard you've been hard at it. Get ready. There's work to do.
Not too worried about all of that. Let's open up this and then get into a fire patrol. We've done some good crafting stuff there. Decent. Silts in the silver Slayer core. Okay, conditioning cells all right. Swift cell decent. Okay.
Stop by a sec.
Oh god, everyone wants something. Gonna leave all of that stuff at the minute. So, patrol. We've got a blaze patrol to do. I'm gonna go squadded. Going solo on a blaze patrol is an easy way to get matched up with one of the stronger behemoths. I'm getting a load of barrels for the gun weapons, but I don't use them, so it's fine. But what I do need to do is change my blades to these ones. Shall I go Reaper's Dance? I think I like a cool Rift Strike, to be honest. We'll go lightweight chain again. Barbed Cell, it's a bit weak. Have I got a Vampiric Cell? I think I have. No, maybe I haven't. Okay, I'll go with that instead. Right, let's see what we're up against. Embermane, okay, decent. Alright, let's do this. So what you want for an Embermane is to have what was I going to say? Yeah, you want to have frost weapons and fire armor, which I do have. My teammates, I'm not sure what they're actually rocking at the moment, but I'm sure they can get the job done. regardless. Yeah. See, this guy knows what's up. Loot up. There's always plenty of time. We're not going to struggle here. Oh. Just collecting nicely. I can hear it over there. Let's go. I'm not going to lose to a bloody Emberman. He can attack me all at once. I can tank his hits all day. I've got these all day. My armor is literally designed to tank its hits. The only thing about these is they move about a lot, so it can be hard to nail them down, but I've got a frost weapon which will slow it down once I catch it. Now we've got him angry and he's going for range attacks as well. He's not fully enraged yet. This is just the second stage of him. It's going to be harder to hit now because he's going to move about a lot more. Couldn't get any great damage on him. See, I fought so many Embermains when I was playing the demo, so I know his patterns really well. Closing him up, so it's going to be slower now. Okay, still busted up, but he's going to shut that off pretty quickly. I was supposed to dodge that. Let's pop a potion. Let's go. Oh, I tried to go through that. Oh, he came for it. I thought we had to hide behind the tree there. Nice. Ooh, good hit. Okay. Cool. I'm stuck in the tail. This one. I'm lucky that I'm able to tank the hits because I would have been in trouble. Someone else take the aggro quick. Don't stand by when I'm healing him, Jesus. There we go. I'm breaking his parts off just for fun. Okay, so he's escaped. That's cool. Let's see where he is. He's out that way. Cool. Everyone can see that. Everyone's going to heal. Let me get in on this. Oh, you bastards. Okay. Ah, cool. If I'm the only one here, I'm going to take all of the aggro. Quick. Oh, you. Don't stand by when I'm healing him. That's where all the aggro comes. Jesus. Oh, come on. There we go. Close them up. Whew, I was about to die then. Right. I might die here. Right, I need to get over here real quick. Shit. Okay, I'll be alright. Oh, okay. You're just gonna rush me while I'm healing. Okay, let's do this. I'll bounce for you, it's alright. Yeah. Oh my god, how's this guy dying again? Okay, he's cool. Let's go. Okay, that glitched out. Not good. Nice. Big damage. I like this. It's go. Come on. Oh, come up it. It's getting a bit frantic right now. Oh, okay. Did not want that. Keep going. Hold back for a bit here, look. Don't really want to take the aggro at the moment. Okay. Let's get back into this. Yes. Come on. And get the aggro now, for certain. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here, look, let's get aggressive. Because it's starting to rack up that danger meter now. So when it gets to the 60s, you need to really look at finishing things up. There we go. Just as I said it. Oh, A rank, we'll take that. What's up, Jazz? What did you make me? Oh, let's have a look. Is that like a chair? That's beautiful, baby. Thank you. I'm going to take that downstairs, okay? I love you. Good girl. Close the door, please. Not all the way, just a little bit. Thank you. Alright, so Team Rank C, not great. Not great at all, but we did what we needed to do. Which puts us to 3 wins for the day. Our A grade streak is at 2. Let's continue there. And our win streak is at 3. And tell you what, the loot's calm. The loot is very calm right now. Okay, here we go. Nice and calmly done there. Do we have anything that... Yes, we do have Battle Pass rewards. Awesome.
There you are.
What have we got here? Ooh, sword transmog. Nice. I mean, we don't really use swords, but still nice. What I'm hoping for would be... What's in here? That's what? Okay, just some crafting stuff. Those are the repeaters. I need chain blade transmogs, but we'll claim the rewards that we've got right now. Ripper and the Sigil. Nice.
Farewell,
enough.
Slayer.
If you have
Right.
a second.
Let's see what the let's see what the wheel gives us now. We have the wheel. Spin that. And we are going to get oh, this is going to be tough. A shock patrol. Okay. Interesting. Shock is pretty hard, to be fair. Okie dokie. Alright, so again, I think we're going to need to squad up, because if we get caught slipping here, this could be bad. I mean, the weakest ones in shock are pretty strong anyway. Okay. Alright, let's do this. I mean, we'll get some orbs out of it. In fact, no, I need to go back, prepare for this properly. Make sure I've got enough of what I need. I need some more of those. Okay. Pretty decent. Frenzy tonic. Got enough of those. Might carry some.
Don't waste this.
Got time for a hunt? Fair winds, Captain.
Okay. Let's just some gathering. Okay, so let's go. Patrol. And it was a shock patrol. Let's do this.
A regular old storm. Sure. I can sail into one of those. But an aether storm? No, thank you.
Looks like that airship ran into some trouble. An aether-charged shock jaw, if I don't miss my guess.
Okay, come on. Let's get this server going.
Sometimes I regret giving up my slave training. Then I remember I'm alive. And those regrets melt away.
Oh, just realized something. Take those off. Don't want the captions on right now. Right, let's do this. I do need to sort out my my loadout though. Don't think I've got much that will help. That's terror shock weapons. I don't think I've got much shock armor, to be honest. Let's have a look. What do I have? Shock. No, I don't have any shock armor. Which is going to be a bit of an issue. I swear I had some gloves that were shock though. Yes, I did. Okay. We'll use that. Cool. And the boots as well. I think I've got. Let's go. Okay, we'll go fortress. Yeah. Fire's breastplate. Have I got anything shocky for that? I have. Okay, so I did have stuff. Awesome. Just don't. Maybe I don't have a shock helmet. No, I definitely do. What was I even worried about? Absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm underpowered. Shock weapons, they were rubbish. Really should have taken my flame on with me. Oh well. This might cost me. I mean, it'll probably cost me my. Probably gonna cost me my A grade streak, but I might have to play a bit defensive with this. To the direction. Okay, we were on the right path, which is good. We'll go this. Okay. Now the shock means that you can't use your items, which is obviously not the greatest scenario to be in. So when they drop these, it's got a bit different. Because they fire electricity at you. Ah, shit. So this is one of the more difficult ones, because you kind of find yourself having to play support more than you would with a normal beginner. Ow. Okay, he's got more of those out here. Okay, that wasn't fun. Go. As a squad, we're not doing too well right now. Yeah. Ow. Okay, so these are going to be harder to deal with now. That's one gone. Oh shit, okay. Whole squad in trouble. I gotta take the aggro here. Okay, now I'm in in trouble. Okay. I'm just gonna get out of this. Oh, for God's sake. Of course, the annoying thing about this is you can't heal up properly when you're doing that. You've got to get rid of those. Have to get rid of those. Okay, I'm definitely not getting that A grade here. Can't interact with me while he's shot. This behemoth is a big problem here. To go and play support and get rid of these. They're actually pretty easy to get rid of as long as you stand behind them, because they won't fire at you. Oh, okay. Nice. Get away there. Oh, okay. Okay, he's out of here, which is good. These guys have used up all the ether. Not so good. See, it's fights like these where the streak might become a problem. Where am I going? Okay, that way. Cool. This is going to be incredibly tough. See, I like this cell here that I've got on that's giving me the shield. Because I'm not taking any damage right now, it means I won't take much with the next hit as well. So he's already set these up. I need to get rid of these. Oh, okay. No, really, I'm focusing now. I just need these shots to go so I can heal up. Go again. I'll use one of these. Shove it. Got rid of that one. Oh, for God's sake. It would be nice if someone could give me a hand with these. Oh shit, now I can't heal it. Oh, for fuck's sake. So many of these on the field now. Almost impossible not to get hit by one. Fuck. Just go, just go, just go. You don't need to get me. Okay. Just wanted to just go away, to be honest. Probably use this before I can't. Oh, thank God for that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's... I knew I wasn't going to get an A grade on that. I'm just happy that we got